Hi, I'm here with our electrician Tony Beidel. He's from Tony Beidel Electrical. He's just going to go through some stuff here that he sees and let us know what he's going to do.
Well, I guess we can start with the basics of kitchen wiring, that's for sure. I assume the vapor barrier's been dealt with in length. Vapor boots should be installed in every portion of this kitchen. When you deal with your cabinet heights, you're going to see a lull between about 32 and 55 inches. This would be where you want to run your wiring. To run it up here, as we can see, numerous locations they punch through and basically hit the cables. Definitely not the route to go. You know the cabinet installers are going to be shooting blind into studs, so you want to keep it out of the way. In this case, a protection plate would have solved the deal, but I mean, lean towards side of caution and keep it out of the way where they're not going to be installing any cabinets. If we trace back to the fridge, they've run this fridge circuit off of the bedroom, which is not necessarily the way to go. You could you could try and loosely interpret the code with an appliance, but you want to go with a separate circuit on a fridge at any given time, even if you can prove without a doubt that it's lower than the wattage requirements. You cannot run Lumex through a steel stud like this. Jagged edges, clearly going to cause a problem. It's strange because they went with grommets, two different types, and then I assume ran out, and then went this route, which is just going to leave yourself up for disaster all said and done. Retrofitted pot lights, I'm not against them, but if you are going to use the product, you would want to use connectors. This clearly is not the way to go. You run this through here, hit these jagged edges, next thing you know you've got a short. One of those things that we want to avoid at any given time. I mean, even if you want to use a plastic grommet, which wouldn't be the way to go, this is clearly a situation where we'll say they lack some knowledge. Man, I tell you, well, I mean, everything in this place has got to come out, but it's just one of those things. I mean, we could see in this basement, everything worked. I mean, the plugs turned on. You can use the logic that it worked, but it doesn't mean it's right, and that's what you always have to be mindful of when you are bringing contractors in your house, is that at the end of the day, drywall does hide everything, and that's why we have inspections, that's why we have the authority, that's why we have people to come in and double check. So we're going to start from scratch and rebuild it, and you know, I think at the end of the day we'll give the client what they paid for, which is, you know, professional work done by professionals. So I mean, it's interesting to say the least, but in no way is it right. So
on an average, like a basement like this, how much is a permit probably going to run an electrical permit for a basic basement setup?
Situations like this, $135 would have taken care of business.
So basically, if a contractor doesn't want to get permits, there's a reason why.
Typically,
he's
yes.
He's not doing something right. He's cutting corners, and that's potentially a big problem.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, without a doubt, I can't think offhand of a situation where you wouldn't want to get an electrical permit, whether it be a hot tub, whether it be anything that happens. It doesn't make any sense. There's no legal out. If somebody's telling you you don't need a permit, typically they don't have the availability, which is you need to be a master electrician to pull a permit in a contracting application. If you're a homeowner and you're doing your own projects and it's not a duplex, if it's a single family dwelling, you're able to pull a permit yourself, deeming that you do the work yourself. So anytime you have a contractor in, he should be pulling a permit to do any work. There's no legal way around it. It's the exact way it should be done.
So pretty much all the wiring in the basement here, you're gutting and doing it new, doing it right, and we're basically starting from scratch.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it would have been better for these people really to have taken the money and done nothing, because it would have been easier to take care of it. And that's where things are sad. I mean, whether or not they had good intention, whether or not they believed they were a certified handyman, at the end of the day, you want to see people coming in that are professionals, that are paid to do this, that have gone to school to do this, that carry liability. I mean, in a situation like this, if there was any real problems, I'd have to question, you know, who would take responsibility for it. If the insurance company would even say that, you know, you were allowed to do this, because you know, they'd say, where were the permits? If there was a problem with the basement, how did this happen? Absolutely. I mean, there's just no other way to go. I mean, it's you do it right, you have everything signed off, nobody has anything to hide. I mean, drywall is not meant to hide the work. You know, it's definitely not the route to go. And I mean, with this,
so basically, if you're getting electrical, get someone that knows what they're doing. Make sure they get a permit. Do it properly because everything's going to be hidden, and you have no problems. Everything will be done correctly. I'll let you get to it. Thank you for your time.
Excellent.
And good luck.
Absolutely.